Okay, this here is one of the books that we've been using recently for our studies. So this is for elementary year 2 students. My son's still in year 1, but we're going ahead and, challenging year 2 tests or equivalents of those. And this one contains the major subjects that you have in both in grade 1 and 2, which are kokugo, which is Japanese, and then arithmetic, and life studies, which is basically a mixture of the basic sciences and social studies into one category. And so they have they have stickers in here, and they have these prints for each of the subjects that you can do. Some of them get, well, not necessarily progressively harder, but they're split into different sections that you do. The math ones are in blue. The Japanese ones are in red. And the life studies ones are in orange. And we'll be going over, I think, mainly the life studies ones in this video. So this book, it comes with this sticker thing. So when you're done, this sort of chart. So when you're done a specific section, you put the sticker on and you sort of go down this chart. You see here, like we did number 20 here, and then we did 28 because 21 was kind of difficult still, but we're working on that. This is the math section, so there's 36, and you'll see in the Japanese section there are only 24, so less, and then only 16 in the life sciences. So in school, in the first 2 years, the most you actually spend time on is Japanese here, even though we have less prints than in math. Math would be second most, and then the life studies would probably be the third most, but nowhere near as much time as you spend on the other two subjects. But the things that you do learn in it are important and found on make the base for everything else that going forward. So here are some examples. Since it's kind of like social studies mixed with science, here we go. Let's just look at the first sheet here. All the sheets, let's see here, where does it say it? So it says in the top, it should take about 20 minutes to complete, and they want you to find these 6 flowers in nature, these 4 bugs in nature, and then do a little test to see if you understand the sort of the seasons, for example. But so I took my son like out on the weekends and the evenings and whatnot, and we looked for some of these bugs and flowers, and some of them were slightly out of season. We did find all the bugs and most of the flowers, but there were 2 flowers that we couldn't find. And, we spent, so again, it says like you should take about 20 minutes. I think we probably spent like 6 hours looking for these flowers overall or something ridiculous. I mean, that's not only what we were doing, of course, but much more than the expected 20 minutes. So eventually, after like several times of going out and looking for these flowers and saying they're kind of out of season, so they'll be hard to find, I decided we will sort of use a backup where if we can't find something that it asks us to go search for, then we can just watch like sort of a short YouTube documentary on it instead. Only in the case when we can't actually find it, and that's why we checked off the 2 that we couldn't find. And then so similarly, we go visit places in the town. So this is kind of like a social studies-esque one, where we find a park, a hospital, a post office, library. We actually went to the library 3 times, and I was not very smart about it because we went to the library the first time. I saw, oh, it's closed on Mondays. Then we went the next time we went, was also a Monday. So I guess I forgot. And then we went on Tuesday right before they closed. So we didn't get a good exploration of the library, but we did go inside and get to see it. On the station, the bus, and sort of all around town. And then they ask you like these little quizzes here um, about what things you should take when you're exploring and so on. And then we have lots of questions regarding plant life, for example, how you like what these plants are and how you raise tomatoes or sorry potatoes, and I think there was one on tomatoes as well, which is on the next sheet here. Yeah, how you raise tomatoes and so on. And I think this is actually pretty helpful because it sort of gives a really good basis of well, these are life studies, but I would say the life sciences like chemistry and biology, biochemistry, and so on as well, which is pretty good. And we have a whole bunch of other sheets here. It seems like the order of this stuff is a little bit random because then we have to go like find a flower shop and a fish shop and a meat shop and a sports shop and all that. And finding some tadpoles. We haven't found any tadpoles yet. Some water striders. We found the water striders. Certain like fish and zarigani. What is a zarigani? Is that a crawfish? These crabs here. Well, not crabs, but crabbish. They're kind of like a crab shrimp or something. I don't know their English name offhand. But here's a good one here. It's again with this zarigani, but they ask you in a series of different questions, which is the proper way to raise the zarigani? And they do the same over here as well for tadpoles once they get their arms and stuff. They so you know like how each of these particular creatures like lives in a way, and you understand that they have their own sort of habits in what they do. And I think that the study of it itself is quite interesting, and learning that they all have their own habits and live different ways is quite interesting to find out. So some of these things, you know, it would be obviously best if we could actually have the creature in question on hand and be able to watch it, observe, and determine these things. But one, for the safety of the creature, and two, for the ease of the questions. Some of these we just might end up using, YouTube videos or whatever to figure those things out and observe that way rather than finding these creatures. But I think we actually will collect some of these creatures and watch their habits at some point. So more finding things, determining which creatures are which, learning to build simple things, so simple toys basically. So kind of like an engineering project that they have in here. So again, these are fairly simple, and I think this is just more understanding what they are rather than actually being expected to build them at this point. We have understanding again the seasons and different types of creatures, like what these are and which ones cry, which ones don't. So two of these bugs down here cry. So I expect that it would not be the shoot, I can't think of its English name. This guy over here, the Kamakiri. I want to call it like a scythe bug or something, but I know that's not right. But it's something similar to that, right? Anyway, here they actually expect us to like ride the bus and see exactly how the bus works. So sort of just things that you don't normally think about, I think, as an adult. They want you to go and actually experience these things in town and understand what's going on. And a lot of questions are kind of seasonal. Like here, we get into the winter, what you find in the winter. search for more things, see how the pond changes, learn about yourself, and more bugs in the end. So always bugs, right? And then for some reason I had the math one here, the time tables, but we'll get to that another time. So that's just a quick look at the life studies journey. I want to be able to get most of this done before we actually take the test, these science tests that we are planning on having my son take. But the winter seasonal ones where we have to find things in the winter, those I don't think we'll wait that long before making an attempt on the test. So we will see how that goes before we determine that. So with the life sciences, we're doing since so many of them are like searching for something, we're doing this just a little bit at a time. But you know, it's going. It's slowly proceeding, which is interesting to do. So, I mean, it's kind of like a fun little journey that I can have with my son. We say, I tell him, okay, let's go find this thing, or let's go do this thing that probably we wouldn't normally go and do. We might go just like play at the park or something, not look for bugs and flowers. But it's interesting to do that. Anyway, yeah, these kind of books that go over the things that, or similar instances of what you would be expected to learn in school, I think are useful, and at least for the life studies one, are surprisingly fun at times. Although spending 6 hours looking for some flowers that might be out of season is not necessarily that fun. So, you got to be a little bit practical about these studies as well, since you know this isn't some novel discovery that we're trying to do at this point, but we actually might be looking into a novel discovery in the near future as well, and I will talk about that in a future video. For now, please like, subscribe, level up.